Let's begin in tabletop with some cat-cows. Inhale, lift the chest. Let's begin on our hands and knees with some cat-cows. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, breathe into the abdomen. Exhale, draw your navel away from the mat. Inhale, come back to neutral. And step your right foot to the outside of your hands. Tuck your left toes under and bring your hands to your right thigh. Lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Gently engage your left glute to open the front of your left hip. Bring your right thumb into your right hip crease and lengthen your left arm towards the ceiling. Gently draw the right hip down as you reach the left fingertips up. Reach the left hand all the way out of the left hip, opening the left side. Breathe deeply as you inhale, feel a sense of length. As you exhale, stretch and release the hips. Exhale, bring your hands back to the mat and find your tabletop. Do 3 cat-cows with your own breath, inhaling to lift the chest and exhaling to round the spine. Move with your breath. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips into downward facing dog, and start to walk out your legs back and forth one at a time. Move the hips, and then release back down to the knees. Step your left foot to the outside of the hands. Tuck your right toes under, and bring your hands to your thigh to lift your chest. Gently engage the glute to open the front thigh. Left thumb in the left hip crease, right fingers reach towards the ceiling. As you inhale, reach the right hand all the way out of the right hip. Lengthen the right side. Open all the way from the right hip up to the fingertips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen the stretch. Inhale all the way down into the front of the hips. Exhale, stay with the stretch. And as you exhale again, bring your hands back to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, round. Inhale, stretch and open the abdominal muscles. Exhale, draw them in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck the toes and lift into downward facing dog. Walk out the legs, move the hips. Bend the right knee deeply and reach that left heel towards the floor. Opening and lengthening the back of the left leg. Breathing here. And then switching sides. Bend the left knee and reach the right heel to the floor. Lift and extend the spine. Lift the hip creases. Keep the legs long. Keep the hips reaching. Reach both heels to the mat and then release the knees back down to the floor. Step the right foot forward again outside the hands. This time we'll bring the right hand to the right thigh. Take a deep breath into the abdomen. Exhale, draw the core muscles in and turn the chest towards the right thigh. I'm going to bend the back knee and take the right hand to the left foot or ankle. And if you can't reach, use a strap or a belt or a scarf. Lasso the left foot, holding with the right hand. Drop the hips forward and down. Open and lengthen the quadricep muscle. Breathing here. This is a deep stretch. So deep breath all the way down into the abdomen. Imagine taking your breath down into the front of the hip, and as you exhale, release those hips even deeper. And then release. If you're using a strap or a scarf, place it off to the side. And come back to your tabletop. 3 cat-cows, moving with your breath. And just taking these cat-cows in between to stay mobile and to release tension in the spine and the hips. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift into downward facing dog, walk out the legs again, move the hips around. Bend the right knee deeply, and then turn the left heel in towards the center of the mat and look under your left armpit, really pressing back into that outer left hip. Release the heels to the floor, and then switch sides. Bend the left knee and turn the right heel in towards the center, looking under the right armpit. Keep the hips high, and then release back to tabletop. Step the left foot forward. Bring the left hand to the left thigh, deep breath into the abdomen, and exhale, wrap the abdominal muscles around the spine as you turn the chest towards the left knee, and then bend the right knee and reach back for the right foot or ankle. You can use a strap here. And then we want to release the hips forward and down as much as possible. Opening and lengthening that quadricep muscle. Deep breaths here. Again, this is a very deep stretch, so make the breath reflect that. Deep breath into the core, and big breath out. Slowly and deeply release that leg. And back to our tabletop. Cat-cow, moving with the breath. And not rushing these movements. Taking this opportunity to release the hips, to bring some blood circulating back into the muscles. And then exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lift the hip creases up and back. Take the feet wide this time. Press back a little deeper into those hips. Press both heels towards the mat. Exhale, knees to the floor. Keep the knees wide, and then bring the big toes together and sit the hips to the heels for child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel your breath moving down the spine. Create space in the back of the hips. Walk the hands under the shoulders. And then on an inhale, slowly lift yourself all the way up. Take a moment to sit up tall. And then we'll come to a seated position with the legs straight out, hands beside the hips. Have a strap handy if you need it. We'll keep the right leg straight, bend the left knee, and then rotate the hip open, bring the bottom of the foot to the inner thigh. If you can't easily reach the outside of that right foot with the left hand, use a strap. Otherwise, left hand to the outside of the foot, bend the knee to start. Inhale, Take the left thumb into the left hip crease, right thumb into the right hip crease, and exhale, release forward and slightly twisting to the right. And again, deep breaths here. As you inhale, lengthen the spine as if you're extending over that front leg. And as you exhale, gently drawing that right hip back. You should feel this along that outer hip. Turn the chest towards the straight leg, walk the hands in, extend the left foot, wiggle out the legs, lift the chest. Left leg straight, right knee, hug it in. Hip turns open, bottom of the foot to the inner thigh. And use the strap or hold the outside of the foot. Inhale and exhale, twist. Left thumb in the left hip crease to gently draw the left hip back. So as you inhale, thinking about lengthening the spine forward. And as you exhale, gently twisting as you draw the left hip back. So we get this nice opening in the outer hip, the glute, and even the lower back. You can always keep the knee a little bent, turn back towards the straight leg, and then lift all the way back up to sitting nice and tall, hands beside the hips. Give the legs a little wiggle. And then we'll come all the way onto our backs. So you have the option to do your figure 4 stretch here with the right ankle over the left thigh. And then holding behind the left thigh or shin if you'd like, finding your stretch in the right hip. Or if you'd like to go into a deeper stretch today, we're going to cross that right knee right over top of the left. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And then start to walk the hands down towards the ankles. Moving the feet in opposite directions, keeping that deep cross as high as you can in the knees, and maybe even reaching the outsides of the feet. You can hold wherever is comfortable here, finding sensation in that right hip, and then taking the focus of your breath towards those sensations. Inhaling, imagining creating space in and around that tension, that tightness, and as you exhale, releasing deeper into the stretch. Few deep breaths, and then as you exhale, releasing the feet, unwinding the legs. Take a moment to rock the knees side to side, roll out the hips and the lower back. And then on the second side, either taking your figure 4 stretch, left ankle over the right thigh, holding behind the right thigh or right shin, or taking that deeper variation and crossing the left knee right over top of the right knee, hugging the knees into the chest. And then starting to walk the hands down towards the shins, the ankles, the feet, wherever you can reach. Just keep the cross in the knees as high as you can. And find the stretch that feels good for you. And then take the focus of your breath towards that stretch. Inhale. Imagine opening up all the space around that tight muscle. And exhale, releasing deeper into the stretch. Last couple of breaths here. On an exhale, release, unwind. Do a little rock and roll, side to side, up and down, maybe some circles. And let the knees come out wide, bottoms of the feet together. Bring the hands to your lower abdomen. Breathe towards the hands. Feel the expansion of the inhales and the deep release of the exhales. You can stay here for a few seconds, a few minutes, however long you need. Give yourself time and permission to release and relax. And thanks for joining me. Namaste.